Oh yeah, it's the weekend, and you know what that means. It's time for Pixels and Bits on the Overshield.com with your hosts, Corey, Manny, and Tommy. And now, broadcasting from planet Earth, it's time for Pixels and Bits. Welcome to Pixels and Bits on the Overshield.com. My name is Corey. Hi. Welcome to episode 82 of Pixels and Bits. I am joined by my co-host, as always. Say hi, Manny.
What's going on, everyone?
Tommy is not here right now because he had to go man some movie theater or something right now. I don't know what he does.
I thought he was leading the Transformer Rebellion.
He's leaving the Transformer Rebellion?
Yeah, something along those lines.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, this will be, since Tommy is not here right now, and it's been kind of a slow news week outside of, GTA Online Heist being added. We're just gonna do the middle segment this week, which I think Manny has a very interesting topic.
Sure, why not? You want to go for it?
Yes, go ahead.
All right. So the way I look at it, today is none other than Friday the 13th. Yes, it's March. It's not Halloween, so there's no sense in pulling out the Freddy vs. Jason films. However, being that it is Friday the 13th, I figured let's discuss something on the topic of what we might consider scary or what we consider fearful. And in this case, since we always talk about games, let's talk about what we think or fear in the gaming industry. For example, a while back, one of our concerns was, will the PlayStation 4 or Xbox One require a constant online connection in order to play them? And then when we heard that Xbox One's device was originally going to be online requirement, it's like, oh great, now this is really, our fears coming to light. So my question for you, Corey, is what kind of fears do you have in the gaming industry?
Oh, my biggest fear is Nintendo getting rid of its first-party hardware. Because for years the board of directors has been trying to pressure Iwata and Miyamoto into putting Mario out on like mobile devices and stuff like that. When they've been pushing back, saying like that's not how we do our things, that's not our business model, it wouldn't work. And they're like, it's not as profitable as you think it is. But I fear the day that the shareholders who don't know a fucking thing about the video game industry, they're just invested into Nintendo just purely because it has a good return. Is that they'll just kind of piss away all that history, all the work, the foundations that Nintendo has laid, and to just all for the sake of a quick cash grab that's nowhere a long-term plan. That's one of my biggest fears. Another one of my biggest fears is no Half-Life 3.
Or The Last of Us.
Gabe Newell just basically says, "Fuck it, we don't make games anymore. We only make Steam machines and virtual reality headsets. Goodbye, everybody." As he's walking away eating a Snickers bar.
I said The Last of Us when I meant The Last Guardian.
Oh God.
About that.
Well, that's good. That's dead, and we know it. That's never gonna come out. We know it. And then, if it's proven wrong at E3 at some point, I will. Manny, what if I am proven wrong? What do I have to do? What will I have to do?
You have to match me in the number of ramen bowls I eat.
Fuck!
Yeah.
No!
And not just any ramen. It's going to be some really spicy stuff, too.
Oh, you asshole! Oh.
So anyways, fearful topics in the gaming industry.
Let's see, I fear EA and Ubisoft. I don't like the direction that Ubisoft is going with their video games. Have you noticed that literally every Ubisoft game released in the past year all has the same game mechanic of having to find some sort of tower to reveal things on the map
and undergo a synchronization process.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we nailed that one several
And
podcasts.
It's just like I don't like games having similar design tropes. That's just fucking lazy. But also, I just don't like how Ubisoft is rushing everything.
Yeah. And it's really not just Ubisoft. Like, for me, the real issue, and it goes on my fears, is the release of games that are clearly not finished. Like, for me, it started back when Skyrim was released on the PlayStation.
You guys got
3.
fucked in that.
Yeah, that was brutal. And then, it was just downhill with other games and other companies. So it wasn't just like an isolated incident or with just one group. And it just seems like that's becoming the norm. And it's like, no, that's not acceptable.
Another one for me, I think, is I fear Square Enix going back to their old ways.
Oh, and what do you mean by that?
You can see that they're starting to turn around. Like, how they were releasing like everything on mobile. They weren't really putting effort into anything, and like except for their Western releases, which they just published, they didn't make. So games like Just Cause and Hitman and Tomb Raider and stuff like that. I always hated the fact that that Square Enix mismanaged their money so bad for projects like that there was almost no guarantee for a sequel. Like, what was it? It's Tomb Raider sold about 5 million, still wasn't profitable. Hitman sold 3 million, wasn't profitable. Sleeping Dogs, which they hardly even really developed, they just kind of bought that off of Activision and just finished the rest of it. That sold like 2.5 million. Not profitable. It's like, what the flippin' fuck do you have to do to turn a profit? Then when you can't, when a AAA game sells 5 million units, which, keep in mind, that's right around 300 million in revenue if you're counting price of games. That's not, of course, what Square Enix got. Square Enix probably pulled about 150 million out of that. But when you're still pulling that much money and you still fail to meet your target goal, something's wrong about how you're managing the money. And I think that's something that the game industry is starting to learn, is that like we don't need to have these huge bloated budgets. I think a perfect example of this is The Witcher. Like for The Witcher 3. CD Projekt Red came out and actually revealed how big the budget for the game was, marketing and all. Would you like to take a guess, Manny?
Oh, jeez, I'm had a blank here.
50 million. That's it. To make a game like Witcher 3, marketing and everything, $50 million.
Wow.
And if it comes out and being Game of the Year, everybody's going to take notice. Because it basically proves that throwing money at something does not make it a great game. Which is, I think, what feels like Square Enix and EA and Ubisoft and Activision, they're just into this philosophy. It's like, oh, if we throw more money at it, it means better graphics and better game. It's just like, we'll return better profits. Like, no, that's a very dangerous mind of thinking. That's the gambler's thinking.
Well, a great example is Order of 1886.
Oh,
look at all the hype
God.
in that. Yeah, remember? Oh, it's going to be the apex of next-gen gaming and everything.
I was so looking forward to it, too.
Yeah, you and me both, buddy.
When are we going to finally get a good PSX? There has not been a good... to me, there hasn't been really any amazing games on the PS4 or really on next-gen consoles, period, yet. And when I mean amazing, I mean like 10 out of 10, almost like literally like masterpieces. The closest thing we've had to that is the re-releases of Last of Us and Grand Theft Auto.
I did really enjoy Dragon Age, though. I felt that it did live up to its hype, so...
I mean, I love Dragon Age as much as you, Manny, but like to me, I have a couple nagging issues about it. So for me, it's not I know to you it's like 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10.
For me, it's a 9 out of 10.
For me, it's an 8 out of 10. It's just there's little things that irk me, like you don't have I wish you had a little bit more party members. I wish there was some more interactivity, especially in terms of romance options. If you're a guy, I feel like the romance options were literally designed for girls. It's like, oh, let's fuck Iron Bull. Let's fuck this. Let's fuck the magician guy. No, how about this guy? Oh, how about it's like okay, what do we got for us guys? Well, you got Cassandra, who could possibly be straight, or we don't know. Yeah. I think you could actually go both ways with Cassandra, right?
She's a bit rough around the edges.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way.
And then there's who else is there if you're a guy? It's just like
there's Dorian.
There's Dorian. Yeah, you can go gay with Dorian.
I'm trying to think who else is there.
There's really nothing.
No,
I don't know. That's my So that's my only complaint is like Mass Effect. I love all the interactivity, and yes, I romanced everybody in Mass Effect
at some point in time.
Yes, I did.
His whole team died from STDs. None of them survived in Mass Effect 3.
They all die on the way to the suicide mission, Mass Effect 2. No, that's horrible. Let's see. I also fear handhelds being dropped because the Vita obviously is doing poorly, and I know you have to recognize this. The Vita's doing. I'm actually surprised that it's even still around.
Yeah. It's chugging, but yeah, it's definitely not anywhere where
it looks like to me. It seems like Sony doesn't give two flying fucks about it. Like, they haven't talked about it at all in the past 2 E3s.
No, and it's really bad when the next game you're looking forward to are JRPGs.
Yeah.
Which, they're great games, don't get me wrong. That's
what or Hatsune Miku Project Diva.
Or the next Toukiden game. But yeah, it's like we're really relying on the Japanese titles and nothing really homebrew, or even European for that matter.
Yeah, which... That's pretty sad. I mean, the 3DS is doing really, really, really strong. So, I'm not worried about the 3DS. What I'm worried about is the next Nintendo console, next Nintendo handheld. Because guess what? In an increasing world where people are using their phones more and more, which sadly this is the truth, it's just like how you have to prove that, like, okay, this $250 little handheld device, which can only play video games and maybe do Netflix, is worth the investment. And I think that's getting harder and harder to do, because you're seeing people that are actually, like, as well as the PS4 is selling, I don't know that many people that actually bought it. There's a lot of people who are still holding out. They're just like, yeah, you know what, my console's doing fine and everything. And I think because we broke that, because it used to be the console cycle was every 4 years, right? And I think people have become too complacent with it. And when you had that 8-year gap between consoles, I think people, which is funny because it's like, what? You mean I have to buy another console? What the fuck? Why can't I play the new games? It's just like, do you have any fucking idea how games work? It's not just, you don't pop a disc in and it just magically works.
Yeah. Well, and honestly, I definitely agree in some sense, Corey, because it's like the only thing that's keeping the Vita alive is its multi-dimensional functionality. Like you can talk with your PSN buddies, you can Skype on it, you can watch YouTube without viewing it through a potato. It's like if Nintendo caught on and did that with their DS, yeah, the prices might rise a little, but I guarantee you they'd seal the deal in that market.
Oh god, could you imagine how well the 3DS would work? And I mean, could you imagine how well the Wii U would sell if you could pair it with the or do like remote play from your Wii U on your 3DS?
Yeah.
That'd be amazing. But no. I'm actually surprised that's not a thing, because they literally have the same. You could if you did the 3DS with if you made a new 3DS with the second thumbstick and the 2 shoulder buttons, still touch screen. You know what? I see no reason why Nintendo couldn't do like a wireless play or something like that.
I mean, heck, they integrate the Amiibo technology in it, so it's like, yeah.
Actually, you can even link your 3DS to your Wii U to use as a controller in Smash. So like I said, I see no reason why they can't do that in the future. But back to our topic at hand, which was things we fear. Things we fear. Oh boy. I fear Microsoft. Because I noticed that Halo, it was in a bit of a lull period in terms of Microsoft commercializing it. Now I feel like it's like, oh, Halo TV show. Oh, like we're gonna do all this Halo stuff, guys. Don't worry. It's just like I'm worried about them trying to really overdoing it, because there is, such a thing. Look what happened with Final Fantasy. There's a Final Fantasy movie, Final Fantasy TV show, Final Fantasy comic books and mangas. It's like I think Square Enix tried to capitalize on that name a little too much, and I'm worried about Microsoft doing the same thing. And you know what? Of course they're gonna do it. It's money, but like I said, the key thing is not do it too much. Like, okay, the Halo TV show, okay, new Halo game and everything. Halo books, okay, we're fine with that. Just please limit it to that. Last thing I need is like, oh god, now I just realized it's too late. They already did Cortana, the new voice assistant. Yep, no, fuck it, it's too late. Halo's ruined.
You know something I actually fear, Corey? And in ways, it's like we've kind of seen what these devices can do, so it may feel unjustified, is that if the virtual reality gaming, like the Morpheus, or even, some of those...
I will be so sad
if they fall through. Exactly.
I will be so sad if that happens. It's just like, come on, it's like, people, what do you fucking need? We've been dreaming this shit up for years, and when it's finally available for you to grasp in your hands, you say, no. Why?
Yeah, well, I'm not so worried about the people saying no. It's more like maybe people not jumping aboard and really utilizing the functionality.
The developers, yeah.
Exactly.
Actually, no, and that's where Ubisoft came, because there was several months ago, Ubisoft commented on VR, and they say, oh, it's something we probably wouldn't do unless there's millions of, unless the install base is in the millions. I'm like, well, fuck, Facebook and Sony got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, exactly.
It's because, and which to me is really sad that Ubisoft isn't embracing it, especially when they got games like Far Cry.
Yeah, certainly.
Oh god, could you imagine Assassin's Creed in first person?
I was just thinking about that.
That'd be insane. Doing all the parkour and shit. All right, looking down. Oh man, that's a really fucking drop. Do I really have to jump into this hail bay? I do. All right. Ah! Just like,
you know what would blow my mind is racing games.
Actually, I think Project Cars, which is coming out next month, I think that has VR support with the Oculus Rift. I would not be surprised if it works with Project Morpheus. Funny enough, I was playing Half-Life 2 the other day, and that's a decade-old game, more than a decade old, and that has VR support. Like, literally, if you fire the game up in the gameplay options and the video options, it says, hey, would you like to turn on VR? And I'm like, really? Valve took the time to update a decade-old game for this? That's... So Ubisoft. If Valve is going to update a 10-year-old game that, let's be honest, probably not too many not too many people still play, that should send you something. I'm sorry, but waiting for millions and millions, by the time that happens, you will be too fucking late to the party. I mean, that's like getting, that's like, what was it, like hearing about the party, like your friend's party or whatever. It's like, hey, this is gonna go down later tonight. It's like, yeah, all right, I'll show up if a lot of people show up. And then when your friend calls you at 10 o'clock and say, hey man, there's a bunch of fucking people here. Remember that girl you like? She's here. Oh shit, I should get down there. And you stop by the store and get chips and everything. And by the time you show up, the party's fucking over.
Exactly.
To me, that's what Ubisoft's putting themselves into.
Mm-hmm.
So, anything else, Manny?
Not really. I mean, we pretty much covered a lot of bases there.
We did cover a lot of it. Actually, you know what? Actually, I fear. Okay, so recently, me and Manny, we have become kind of addicted to the FIFA games.
That's putting it lightly.
I am like really worried that like the next year's FIFA will be just basically the same fucking thing. Literally the same guy. No visual improvements or anything.
Well, a lot of people thought that originally of FIFA 15, and it came to a big surprise that no, it was not a repeat of 14, and 14 was an utter disaster.
14 was like, it was a work in progress. Like, you can see it's like, okay, this works, but like,
yeah.
And then 15 came, 15's pretty good. Though, it didn't help that they literally used the exact same menus. Literally the exact same menus. It's like, come on, guys. It's like, you guys can't take the afternoon shift to brainstorm new menu ideas? Come on. It's like, what? I don't know what they're doing. I think they literally spend all their resources like, okay, let's update the roster things, and all right, that's it.
Yeah, and then let's do some updates to the Ultimate Team. That way it'll piss off our fans. Because the latest update could literally break the success of this game.
Yeah.
As I've read in the recent forums and on the update on the player exchange rates.
Oh God, no, I really wish they would fix that market system, because it makes no goddamn sense. All right, you get 500 coins a match. Okay, now how much is like, okay, I need to buy a striker who's rated 83, which 83 doesn't, he's not like the best player in the world, he's just a good player.
And 83 is referring to his ranking.
Yeah, to his ranking. Okay, how many coins is he? 42,000! That means you have to play 84 matches. 84 matches for you to buy one player.
Oh, you can do that in 3 months, Corey.
or you give EA your actual credit card and you can buy card packs. Yeah, I think EA basically told them to do that. It's like, make the community market driven so it forces people to buy fucking card packs.
Sounds like some of these MMOs you get involved into.
Even World of Warcraft's not that bad. Like, World of Warcraft, like, they don't make it like the things that you need are locked behind a paywall. It's like, oh no, if you want, it's like, pay us $20, we'll give you this really cool looking mount. Pay us $10 and you have a really cool looking pet, and we'll donate some of the money to charity. It's like, okay, you're still charging money for things that are fairly superficial, but okay, cool. But like, to me, it's when you to me, charging for superficial things, I am cool with. Because people have their own taste, and if they really want to go out of their way to pay the money for cosmetic things, cool. That's why Team Fortress works. But when you start charging for things that affect gameplay, that is going to fuck everything over. And that is what I'm worried that games are starting to go towards, especially with the Dragon Age multiplayer. That pissed me off. I was so pissed to see that. It's like, because you were the reason that actually I bought that game, was because of the multiplayer. I wasn't even really, like, I was going to buy the game like later on the road when I had the time and stuff like that, but you were like, no dude, we get to do this co-op multiplayer and like run through dungeons and shit and be awesome.
Yeah.
And then you see what it really is, and it's basically a pay-to-win thing to get characters and gear.
That's scenario based. It's not even related to the main story or anything.
Exactly.
It's brutal.
Fuck you, EA.
Yes.
Ugh.
Please don't screw up Mass Effect 4.
Oh God, please don't, please don't. No, if Mass Effect 4 has anything like what Dragon Age did with their multiplayer, I will personally go to California, go to EA's head office, find whoever made that decision, and then shove a broom handle up their ass. Oh. And then they have to walk straight for the rest of their life. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Anyways. No, I'd say we nailed this one right on the head, Corey. There's not much more I can add.
I think we're done with this topic. And since Tommy's not here, that means we can't do people doing stupid shit. Well, Manny, have you seen people doing anything stupid recently?
Oh, every day, Corey.
Yeah. Because, well, we both work in customer service, so yeah. I mean, I had somebody come in and mess around on the computer. They're like, excuse me, nothing's happening. You have to press the power button, ma'am. Actually, you know, I think it was great is I had somebody one time come in, and you know, like with ever since Windows XP, ever since Windows Vista, you could basically just type search for anything. So like you pull up the Windows thing, you could type whatever you need to find. Well, I've had so many people come in recently. Yes, I went through the all programs and I still couldn't find Microsoft Word. And I'm like, well, did you try typing a search for it? Instead of just physically searching through every folder that we have on this computer.
No, they wanted to do the long route. Come on now.
Alright. That's the people we've been seeing doing stupid shit. Anyways, what's your shout out, Manny?
My shout out. You know those people, the friends that you grew up with, Corey, that maybe you haven't stayed in touch with over the years, but you remember their younger siblings and they looked up to you when they were young, and then later on they grow up and then they do amazing things. Like, in fact, one of my friends, their sibling, is now a recently graduated Air Force pilot and, is doing big things. And what am I doing? I'm playing Dragon Age. That's my accomplishment for the new year. So, yeah, my shout out is to those people, making moves and making me look bad.
Dude, I know exactly how you feel because literally in like the past week, I've seen 4 friends announce they're getting married and 2 other people announce, hey, we're having kids.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, Jesus.
They're like, what have you done in your life, Corey?
Same thing I've been doing for 4 years now. So
We're doing a podcast on Overshield.com. And for those of all you out there listening, we appreciate you.
we do appreciate you guys tuning in every week.
And putting up with our shenanigans.
Shenanigans. Sorry, I watched Super Troopers today.
There you go.
Still love to say. I swear to the next person that says shenanigans is gonna get pistol whipped. Hey Fargo, what was that place that you like?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean shenanigans? Oh, and they hand him a pistol. Let's see. For my shout out, shout out to Manny.
Hey.
Because the next week this guy's celebrating his birthday.
Hey, thanks, buddy.
And you'll be how old? 52?
No, reverse numbers. 25, I wish. No, 27.
Manny will be 72, folks.
72, there you go. Senior discount.
That gray hair is coming in great.
Yeah, very much. Keep this up and I'll look like Pai Mei from Kill Bill.
Keep this up and you'll look like Tom Freudel.
Tom Freudel was our computer technician teacher back in the day.
And when we met him, he was like, what? Like, he was only like 33, 34 or something like that?
Yeah.
And he had like a full head of gray hair.
Yeah.
And the moment he revealed his age, we never let it down.
But I'll tell you what, I will take gray hair over balding any day. That is just like,
oh, God.
Yeah.
No, because gray hair, you can still look classy.
Yeah.
Balding, you look like a pedophile.
Balding, it's like, what, are you going to take your armpit hair or your pubic hair and put it on you?
I'm going to transplant my ass hair to my head.
This is going to work out great.
Anyways, folks, that is the end of Pixels and Bits episode 82. We apologize that this is so short. Blame Tommy. So I will, and if you want, we will send a link to his Facebook at the bottom of this video, and you can send him hate mail.
And you can support his Kickstarter for the Transformer Rebellion.
I thought you were going to say something else in terms of the word trans, but all right.
Trans music? No.
No. No, he's not Armin. All right. My name is Corey.
And I'm Manny.
And we'll see you all next week, folks. Bye-bye.
Good night.